Dinatarinam Paramanandamadavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Nitinamini Brahmacharya Padaya Nitai Kripapradayane Gaurakata Damadaya Nagara Grama Dharine Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Dehatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So today, I just came from a Vaishnavi Sangha, and we were discussing about Gita and how, personally for me, it's like I study the first, second chapters are so much more relevant. Like I can keep relating to Arjuna's dilemmas and Arjuna's doubts and confusion and all this. And it's so much harder to go past the next chapters where, like today in the group, we were studying about 12th chapter. Krishna is saying, devotee of mine is never harming anybody, never behaves in a way that hurts anybody. And the devotee is very dear to me if he's very pure in his thoughts and he's free of so many negative qualities. And so today I wanted to bring up this point, how there is a fear that if I do not behave in certain ways and have certain qualities, Krishna will not accept me or Krishna doesn't love me. But it's actually not like that. Krishna is always loving. Krishna is always accepting, regardless of how messed up we are or how doubtful we are. He always has the best plan for us. We cannot actually see the plan behind Krishna's intentions. And about again, going through these verses where, see, like for example, where in the second chapter of verse 44, in the mind of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination for devotional service, the Supreme Lord does not take place. For example, this verse, okay? This verse, personally for me, when I read it, I feel like I'm in that category of somebody who's attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and get bewildered by external things, Then of course there's a struggle to find a resolute determination for devotional service. So whenever I read these verses, which are very clear about higher qualities and where we need to be situated, I often think like, but I'm not there. I'm very far from there. So is it hopeless for me? How do I actually attain that? So the philosophy of Krishna consciousness of Bhagavad Gita is that we become willing to let Krishna work on us. Let Krishna do the work that needs to be done upon us, and it doesn't happen in our time. I may have certain goals. I'll chant purely within the next 2 years. I will give up all my material desires. In this much time, I will get settled in my material life, and then I will dedicate more time for my sadhana. We have all these different goals and plans, but sometimes even that can actually become like we have to attach to our sense of comfort, my sense of planning, and it's not so much about Krishna anymore. It becomes more about me and what I want to feel and what I want to accomplish. So and at the same time, it is also humbling. So Krishna is actually preparing us, right? I was discussing with Vilasa Manjari also this point that if things don't happen as I've planned, even though I planned what is favorable for me, just today I'm coming from this Sangha, and Savitri Mataji, she was saying, like, it doesn't mean if we surrender to Krishna, it doesn't mean that he will give us what is favorable. It's not like that. And she was speaking about her ill health and all the difficulties that she faced in life, and she's a pure devotee. She's so like detached from, she's really like this person that I'm reading in verse 44, in the minds of those who are attached to, I mean opposite, I mean to say, I am like that, and she's the opposite, meaning she is so resolute in devotional service because she's not attached to sense enjoyment. And forget about sense enjoyment, she's not even afflicted by sensual pain and difficulties, and not to speak of material opulence. She's quite like very like sadhu. So she was sharing that surrendering to Krishna doesn't mean that everything will go according favorably for me. You know how I will be well situated in my thing. No, actually, it means the Pandavas' lifestyle. Pandavas went through so much. It's not that it was favorable. It's not like he immediately gave them the kingdom, and Krishna didn't just give the kingdom to the Pandavas and say, "Oh, you're my devotees. You have surrendered to me. Here is a kingdom. I will relieve you from 13 years of exile." Or it's not that because Draupadi was surrendered, it's not that she didn't have to go through unfavorable circumstances. So yeah, it's a very difficult thing to understand. But the idea is, again, like we were discussing today in the class, I'm remembering the points. The idea is again to be humble and to let Krishna give me that freedom from sense enjoyment, freedom from becoming bewildered by material situations. It could be a difficult situation at home. Maybe our parents are not cooperative with our Krishna consciousness. Maybe our spouses are not affectionate or supportive to our endeavors. Maybe in our professional life, we're struggling to balance what does it mean service, and what does it mean competition in this world? So all these dilemmas can be there, all these dissatisfactions can be there, but this is meant to not make us attached to this world. It is meant to show us. We were discussing also in the class earlier about Gajendra. After a series of attachments and all, he realized finally that Krishna, only Krishna can actually help me, not any of my she elephants or any of my other followers. So similarly, we need to come to that point of understanding that sense enjoyment, material opulence, all these things is not going to give me peace of mind, and only that willingness for devotional service is what actually bring me closer to Krishna's will. Yeah, I mean, anyway, that was the main point today I wanted to bring up, that I feel so much more connection with beginning verses of beginning chapters of Bhagavad Gita. As it goes further, I do find a little bit struggle to fit myself in there. It's like it hits the false ego. I start thinking I'm nowhere close to that. Yeah. So those are some of the points. If you have any questions or comments, you're welcome to jump in. You can just unmute and share it, or if you can also type it there. You can type or you can speak as you like. I'll just open that verse. You can read the Sanskrit. It's a very famous verse. भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धि समाधो न विधीयते. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence, and who are bewildered by such things, resolute determination for devotional service to the Supreme Lord does not take place. And what do I do when that happens? If I'm in that situation, I just take shelter of Krishna and say, Krishna, my mind is bewildered. My mind is disturbing me. Please help me. Please take care of me. So the analogy can be compared to the baby in the womb. if the baby is outside, you can do so many things to kind of push it to do things. But if the baby's in the womb, there is nothing you can do but just rely on the mother. So similarly, we are like the children dependent on the Lord. We are like the babies in the womb. That only and only that full dependence on the Lord can help us to even get out of that material enjoyment. I cannot say that I can do it by myself. I will control my senses. I will be free from this. I will not be bothered. Okay, Kushbu is thank you for bringing this beautiful point about surrender, that surrender doesn't mean getting favorable things, because we judge our surrender with whether we are getting things right or in our favor or not. Thank you. It was also a revelation for me today. This is Savitri Mataji who told this today in the class. I mean, we had a Sangha. And just about that, there was another Mataji who was sharing how in her life, things were very difficult in the temple. She couldn't tolerate one particular person, and that person was troubling her so much. She was really having so much difficulty that it became so worse that her Guru Maharaj told her that you have to go to Vrindavan. And she was suffering so much in that place. And then when she went to Vrindavan, she realized it's the best thing that ever happened to her. So that struggle she said it was worth it. Those months of struggle was worth it because I could go to Vrindavan. It was a life-changing experience. And then, yeah, similarly, they were sharing about different circumstances where we could think, oh, I'm praying to Krishna, why he's not sorting this situation out, why he's not making temple life more favorable. This is favorable, good for me to have a better situation. But then, Krishna may have a better plan than what we are thinking. And another time she was saying she was engaged in preaching work, and then the devotee kicked her out from the service. And then she was like, why I'm kicked out of service? How could Krishna do this to me? And she was so frustrated. And for months, she was feeling really like nothing to do. And then somehow or another, like she got into online preaching and something like this. And then lockdown hit and everything. And then she realized that Krishna was preparing her for the lockdown. And therefore, she got kicked out of the service. Otherwise, she would never go into online preaching. So she was prepared by that time. And so Krishna was preparing her. So like that, so many circumstances, when we look back, we see that, oh, we are manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagya hi upadrita. Bhagavatam says that in Kali Yuga, the human mind, we are very dull-minded. We don't get things. So similarly, when things are happening, we get frustrated. Why this is not happening according to my plan? Why this was the best thing for me? Then we'll see that our situation is not going favorable, and we pray to Krishna, we surrender to Krishna, and still it's not working out how we want, in our favor, so to speak, in our favor. But then actually later in future, we will see, oh, there was another thing that Krishna had in mind. I couldn't see it like that. I have had circumstances like looking back now, I'm like, thank you, Krishna. You didn't give me that. Or there was a failure there because that turned me to do something else, which was actually my purpose. So Krishna cares more about the purpose of our goals than our goals. So if we are not somehow focused on the purpose and we're deviating and we're becoming too attached to our comfort, our sense enjoyment, it could be sense enjoyment for me, could be going and swimming in the Ganga. That could be my sense enjoyment. For somebody else, reading a specific scripture could be our sense enjoyment. So Krishna knows which is sense enjoyment and which is actually austerity and purification. So then Krishna may test us by not giving us devotional pleasure or something, so that because he's preparing us for something bigger. Like I'm thinking of, like, for example, say we are in a family where devotees, we're not with devotees, and it's constantly difficult. You cannot worship openly, right? You cannot worship deities openly. You cannot go to the dham. I mean, some of you are very lucky you can go to the dham. Krishna arranges that also. We are not independent. Krishna is always in control. So Krishna arranges things, but it can be frustrating to be with a family that is not devotees and they don't really understand your values. You may want to marry a devotee and they may not really be favorable. So all these circumstances are actually Krishna preparing us for the bigger purpose. So we may say, why he's not giving me a favorable situation, why he's not getting me married to a nice devotee, so I can actually practice Krishna consciousness perfectly. Why do I have to work so hard? Why can't I just sit and study Bhagavad Gita? Why do I have to run this business and try to work so hard? We may have all these legitimate concerns and discomforts, but when we are uncomfortable, we should thank Krishna that it is not a situation which is unbearable. So discomfort is necessary for our inner growth. So whenever we get uncomfortable, we should thank Krishna thank you, Krishna, that it's not unbearable. Because uncomfortable situations are meant to achieve that purpose. Whereas unbearable situation is a different category. Unbearable is like maybe we don't have food to eat, we don't have a shelter above our head, things that are like I'm not able to even survive. Uncomfortable is something I'm not able to do what I like doing, and I'm forced to do something I may not so much like doing. But Krishna has a plan for it. Am I making sense? Nobody's talking today. Are you guys upset with me or what?
Yes, it is making perfect sense.
Thank you for not being upset with me.
Yeah, just don't want to disturb the flow of your share. That's why I just thought I'll hear.
No, never is it disturb. It's a discussion. It's not disturb, it's discussion. So please participate.
Disrupt. I don't want to interrupt your share.
It's not interrupt, it's invest. I'm just coming up with words now. So yeah, Prabhupada is saying, Samadhi is never possible for persons interested in material sense enjoyment and bewildered by such temporary things. See, wherever the Bhagavad Gita and Prabhupada, there's very strong statements. In this way, you cannot reach Krishna. In this way, the devotional service doesn't take place. These are not meant to scare us, it's meant to scare us, but we're not supposed to give up hope and stop doing devotional service. But it's to change the heart and become more humble in our heart, to become, to accept that Krishna is humbling my heart. And yes, I am full of character defects. I am unable to give up my sense enjoyment, Krishna. I have no other shelter but you. So the perfection is not giving up sense gratification. The perfection is when I take shelter of Krishna. When I go to Krishna and cry and chant. Again, today in the meeting we were discussing, when we don't know what to do, we just chant. We don't speculate. We don't do these things. We just chant. We don't just depend on some other human being. There's a song by one of our Vaishnava acharyas. Kayala Reno Krishna Kandavara Bhagi Nai Kunnigalante Parara Pidisuta. This is actually Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, text 16, is a similar meaning, that I don't want to bother others, like a dog and a puppy waiting at the door of other people to get support, validation, and bother them. No, instead, actually, we are depending on the Supreme Lord, who's always there constantly in my heart, right? He's always in our heart as Paramatma. So yeah, the point, why did I bring up that song, Kaya Lareno Krishna Kandavara Bhagilanu? So it's about not expecting to be rescued by others, but to invest the time in looking within and crying to Krishna, chanting. That's the thing. Yeah,
You brought the point in taking shelter of Krishna. We should take shelter of Krishna, not any other things. In that context.
Yeah, because we usually want somebody to listen to us, somebody to console us, somebody to hug us, somebody to tell us that everything is going to be okay. But there are times in life that we need to do that for ourselves, and that's why there's a holy name, there's a holy name, there's a holy dham, there's a holy scriptures. So we just take the bead bag and chant. And in that way, we're staying connected to Krishna. And then Krishna may send somebody, may send us some message, maybe we may get a phone call, we may get clarity in some way when we are ready, only when we are ready. But that is in Krishna's time. Aslishya padaratam vinastu mamadarshanam ramahatam karotu va yata tata va vidato. So he may put us through hell, he may squeeze the life out of us, he may kill us, he may squash us. So we may do so many things, but ultimately we just we are willing to align to the will of the Lord. That's our only hope. I mean, really, there's no other option. What am I going to do? Run after my plans, my desires until when? At one point, I need to realize that Krishna has a better plan for me and give up mine. So there are times that it's a virtue to give up things. Like Parashara Muni in like Vedic astrology literatures, he says Saturn is a planet whose virtues are laziness, lameness, dull-mindedness. And you go like, what? How can laziness, lameness, dull-mindedness, all these things actually be a virtue? And then he explains that because in life there are times that we need to be dull. Oh, things are not going according to my plans. So there must be something higher. We do not fret and frown and freak out. We understand that there is some higher purpose behind why things are not happening. So yeah, I again lost the train of my thought where I was going. But anyway, if you have anything to add or any questions. In that song it says, Ninna Nambita Mele Anyarashraya Veke Pananga Shayana Paripalisaya ಮುನ್ನಬಕುತ್ತರನೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಲಿಸಿದೆ ಮುರವೈರಿ ಶ್ರೀ Krishna. So why should I fear when I am trusting you, my Lord? Why do I need the shelter of other people when I'm depending on you for my plans? I'm not depending on anybody else's mercy. I'm not at the mercy of anybody else. I'm going to stop living like a dog and a puppy at others' doors. When I have you, why fear? When I trust you, why? Nambike means belief, trust, faith. And just like you protected the devotees in the past, Draupadi, Gajendra, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, so many devotees, Parikshit Maharaj. So similarly, Munna Bhakutaranella Chennagi Paliside. So Krishna, you've protected very well. So what is my fear? So sometimes he's protecting us from our plans. Sometimes he's protecting us from our expertly crafted plans that he says he knows better. So in that song Channagi Paliside, it means you not only you had a plan for them, but Channagi, it was very nicely done. You always have a nicer way. So although initially it may feel uncomfortable, we need to have that faith and trust that actually at the end Krishna has a smoother plan. It's a better plan. He may not immediately prevent things from happening, but very smoothly he will do things that will he will achieve so many purposes at once. We may be planning, I want to finish Bhakti Shastri. And then Krishna may put so many obstacles, and maybe somebody tells us, hey, why you haven't still finished Bhakti Shastri? They may say, and it hurts our ego. I mean, oh my God, why are they saying that? I'm trying, but Krishna is not allowing it to happen. What's going on? But that's the way Krishna is humbling our heart. He's laughing and smiling, what was the purpose of your Bhakti Shastra again? Aha, me. So here I am. I'm controlling your life. So, yeah, like that. Anything else? It is not easy, huh? It is hard to just let it go and let Govinda. Let go, let Govinda. And not freak out. Why I am not pure yet? Why my material desires are not gone? Why I'm not that description of what Krishna is saying? These kind of devotees are very dear to me. Why I haven't become that? But then I try my best to pretend to be a nice devotee so others will accept me. But there's always a constant questioning. You know? Why is this? I don't know why this verse came up. I have no idea why this verse came up. Maybe we should read it. I don't know if I pressed on it. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Satposto Niryogo Kshema Atmavan. Vedas deal mainly with the subject of the three modes of material nature. O Arjuna, become transcendental to these three modes. Be free from duality and from all anxieties of gain and safety, and be established in the self. Yeah, it's again the trust that I may be frustrated, that things are not going my way, I may be depressed. No, we go beyond all that. Oh, we may feel satisfied. Oh, thank God, everything is now peaceful and it's going according to my plan. No, we have to go beyond all that. And then realize that there is a Paramatma sitting in the heart. When I realize that who I actually am, everything that's happening is according to the Lord's will. And therefore, everything is happening perfectly. So it's bondage. To be satisfied is a bondage. To be frustrated is a bondage. To be depressed is a bondage. But to align to Krishna's will, that is real freedom. Nirvandvo, without duality, dvandva. There's no confusion. There's no disturbance. Without duality. No, not feeling, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this. Why Krishna didn't do it like this? Why he didn't do it? No duality, nothing doing. This is the way Krishna wanted. This is how it is. I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to be in this way. Sometimes I wonder why I could have done a better service to these people. Could have done better thing. Like, no, that's what they deserve. That was their karma. And this was my karma to be able to do only this much. All the rest is all just ego, false ego. I think I should have done better. I should have done good in this and that. I should have done better devotional service. I should have chanted. But no, this is what the Lord allows me to do today. This is what that person, whatever I could do for them, this is what the Lord allowed me to do. Even in a mundane way, is like that's what their karma was. Oh, I could have given them a better astrological reading or a better dental treatment. No, that is what they deserve, because that was the Lord's will. So I could not have done anything better, because He is the karta, He is the doer, not us. We think we are the doer. We are not the doers. In the material modes, when we think I'm the doer, then we get caught up in, oh, I'm feeling good now. Oh, I'm feeling horrible now. Oh, I'm feeling depressed now. Oh, I'm feeling anger now. All that is within that. Again, am I free from anger? Absolutely not. Am I free from frustration? Absolutely not. But knowing that that's not where I am, what I am truly. Where I am is accepting where I am, but then knowing that there is higher truths to it is what is becoming ready, becoming willing for the Lord to make us an instrument, work through us. Okay. Anything else?
I just had a question that what if I don't take shelter, don't accept Krishna's will, and I had my own self will? that things should happen in this way. And somehow it happens, my will. And whatever I was struggling to accept, whatever that was happening in my life, which I was struggling to accept, it doesn't happen, and things go in my favor. Should I feel, because it's hard to understand Krishna's will, should I feel guilty for that?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, if Krishna is letting something happen, we become grateful. Not just in Sattva Guna feeling satisfaction, but in Shuddha Sattva, realizing that this is Krishna's will, and thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. We thank Krishna whether our will happens or not happen. But like there's a difference between, say, Yudhishthir Maharaj playing dice game and losing everything, which was like, on the mundane level, it was definitely not Krishna's will that he lose everything. But on a divine will level, where pure devotees of the Lord, Krishna may have inspired that to happen because he had other plans. Same as Parikshit Maharaj. He put this snake in the neck of Shamika Rishi because, it's kind of like, how could it be Lord's will, right? So a mistake happens, but the pure devotees of the Lord uses them to achieve some other purpose. In our case, however, if we don't act according to the Lord's will, and we force things to happen, we push things to happen, etc., then we'll still realize that Lord is the controller, and we will not be happy unless we let the Lord take control. At the same time, when things do go in our favor, we are grateful. The point is not that. The point of Krishna consciousness is not punishment, and it's not always purification. It's not like that. There are susukam kartum avyayam. Then Krishna does put us through amazing times of engaging in activities that we really enjoy doing. Like for me, if I'm put in always singing bhajans and talking about certain personalities, that's my enjoyment. But there are times that I have to focus on my business and do things. We do videos that are not based on those things. Now it should be not devotional. I also have those kind of struggles, and I can see that, okay, Krishna has some purpose behind that, and I don't have to always enjoy what I'm doing. Sometimes uncomfortable situations to avoid or to learn some things. So no, we are never feeling guilty. Oh, I wanted this, so Krishna gave this. We don't feel guilty. We feel grateful. We feel happy. We feel blissful. But the idea is, a great devotee feels blissful even if it's not going in our favor. But some devotees are naturally inclined to see the Lord's will more than others. Some devotees are inclined to see everything they do as devotional service, regardless. Like I have one of my mentors, he loves doing bhajan so much. That's his favorite activity. But he does so many other things, pick up the kids from swimming to the sports and take care of the parents who are sick and go to the hospital so many times. He does so many things, but he sees everything with the same spirit. He enjoys, of course, singing more, but he sees every other thing also as devotional service. He doesn't just discriminate. I don't know. I think it's just naturally in him. Being with people like that, seeing those examples, it is inspiring that, oh, also cleaning my bathroom. Like today I had to clean my bathroom. Because here in West Bengal, certain castes only clean the bathroom, and you cannot ask maids to clean the bathroom. So I was cleaning the bathroom, and I was trying to remember, okay, this is also devotional service. It was very hard. So, like that. I mean, in America, it's more common that you clean your own places, but in India, we get accustomed to servants, and then when we have to do it ourselves, it feels like, oh, I could go and give a class. Why I should be doing this? No, there's no difference between giving class and this. That level is what is recommended. So I mean, come on, in some cases it's like, I like to sit and study and read Dasara songs and Bhagavad Gita, but then say devotees come for a meeting here, in Mayapur Dham, they come for some meeting, and one of them is my mentor, and I have to serve them, run around, cooking, washing, shopping, whatever it is. I mean, it is like, yeah, maybe slightly uncomfortable, but it's not unbearable. It's actually towards the purpose of me wanting to study Shastra and learn songs. What is the purpose? To come closer to Krishna. So Krishna says, you want to come closer to me? Not that door. Come through this door. This is easier. This is faster. You'll get it more quickly. And imagine the pleasure when I can go back to my reading and get back my room, giving my room to the guest for a while. Like, like I was eager, like when I'll have my room back so I can resume my videos and classes or whatever. So it's part of the adventure, life is supposed to be adventurous. It's not supposed to be boring, everything exactly we get. Things are supposed to be challenging. Things are supposed to be like this in Krishna consciousness. So we realized the nectar. When I got my room back, I was like, so nice. So I would not feel that, so nice, and be more grateful if I didn't go through some austerity. Doesn't make sense. All right. So if you have no more questions or comments, we can end our Gita study here today. If you have anything to say, you can post it in the group. Okay. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Oh, there is something in the chat box. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vilasmanjan.